All right, just a couple of guys with director in the job title. Johann Warnholtz, Director of Marketing, Cities West Media. I'm Matt Johnson, the Director of Digital Content for Cities West Media. You might be asking, Cities West Media, what's that? Well, we publish Phoenix Magazine, Phoenix Home and Garden. We're throwing events, right? We're doing podcasts, we're doing Instagram channels.
We're doing a beer festival in October. We're doing a food festival in March. We're doing all kinds of terrific things. We have our Best Fest coming up in August, which is going to be super fun. We got a lot of cool stuff going on. But today, we are drinking some beer. And I'm especially excited about this one because it sounds like this is kind of a different, very modern style brewing in a can. We have our cold one, our Crosby hops cold one from Dragoon Brewing in Tucson. And
I'm digging that can.
Yeah, I like the can. The description on the can is fascinating.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'll just read it because I think it's worth it. More west than a West Coast IPA, this cold IPA is a relatively new style, borrowing lots of modern brewing techniques, including non-traditional fermentation, an addition of jasmine rice, and hop biotransformation. Nerdy stuff. And who better to share our first one with us than one of our beloved ingredient suppliers, Crosby Hops. So, hop biotransformation. I did a quick little Google search on what that is. Essentially, they use yeast to bring to life the hops to basically bring out some aromas and flavors that aren't otherwise there. That is literally all I know about this hop biotransformation, but essentially it's supposed to bring out flavors that you wouldn't normally get out of the hops they use. And you were saying,
man, I didn't know I needed a degree to drink beer.
Beer is it's biochemistry at its finest. It's
Better go back to school.
It's the most practical use of the biochemistry.
All right, so a lot of nerdy stuff, like it says, like it admits to. I don't mind that.
Clear. Not a lot of head on it.
World. Yeah, real clear. I mean, IPA, this ain't hazy, my friend.
No.
The cold one, or a cold IPA, if you will, uses, from what I understand, from what I've had several cold IPAs before, it's a Kolsch yeast strain in an IPA. And that will give you some sort of almost like a bready kind of flavored IPA.
Okay. I'm all about that.
Go ahead. What do you think?
And then they also apparently use jasmine rice, which I think is interesting. My God, that's clean. So clean.
Super clean. I don't get a whole lot of the bready flavor on that.
No, but it does. I think it does. It does sort of mellow out the bitterness of the hops.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's the rice or the hop biotransformation or what, but it's a 50 IBU beer, and there's really not a whole lot of bitterness there. It's mellowed out.
It almost has kind of to me, maybe like a grape juice kind of nose on it. So I like to get my nose right up in there and get it and see if my tongue picks up the same kind of flavor, which it doesn't pick up the grape juice, but almost like a grape wine. I guess grape wine, that doesn't make any sense, but like a red wine type thing.
To me it kind of gives me at least the mouth. What is it called? The mouth feel. Mm-hmm. It gives me sort of champagne sparkling wine vibes, where it's light, it's refreshing, the carbonation, it's cold. I mean, cold beer is cold. I mean, you usually drink it cold, so it's not that it's colder than a typical beer, but I get what they mean by cold IPA. It's kind of lighter and more refreshing.
Yeah, it sure is.
Than a typical IPA.
It sure is. And if
very good.
So the Crosby hops part of it is it's the Crosby hops farm out of Oregon, and they supply just millions and millions of hops to breweries all across the U.S. And our breweries here in Arizona like to go up there, and especially it's usually around August, September, they come out with what are called their fresh hop IPAs, if you've had one of those.
Yep.
Those are the freshest beers you can get because they literally pick the hops right off, and they might be referred to as maybe a wet hop also. They pick them off and then they ship them, they fly them within hours. Like someone like a Dragoon can have those hops picked in Oregon, and they're just right into, like within 24 hours, those hops are right into their brewing systems.
Yeah.
And they're making fresh hops. So Crosby Hops specializes in that, and also obviously throughout the rest of the year, they supply hops to so many breweries all across the U.S. And they're doing a lot of like experimental stuff.
Yeah, I mean this biotransformation stuff is very interesting. The non-traditional fermentation, not really sure what that means because I'm not an expert. I'm not a brewer. I am a drinker who reads a little bit, and but the biotransformation I think is super interesting. I mean, combining the hops with different strains of yeast that then process those hops in a way that brings out different flavors, different aromas. I think that's fascinating. I mean, you could take a classic hop like a Crosby hop, and you can do some new stuff with it and bring out some new flavors. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah, sometimes these cold IPAs can be used to make like a coffee kind of flavored IPA, if you will. So that's kind of a fun ingredient or a variant that can go into a cold IPA.
Yeah.
On the can here, it does indicate crisp, hoppy, and modern.
Yeah,
So,
I would say that's
we agree
spot on.
The crisp for sure. I still get a lot of good hoppy flavor, which I like.
Yeah, it's definitely there, but it's not overwhelming. So I'm not a huge hop head. I like a certain balance of hops. That's why I tend to gravitate more towards those hazier, kind of juicier New England style IPAs. But this one's it's crushable. It's decently high in alcohol. It's at 7.1%. It's definitely not a light or session IPA.
Right.
But it's very refreshing, and it's very drinkable. It's very good.
I'm a big fan of this. I don't know why I wrote 30 IBU. You're right. It's 50 IBU on the can.
That's
here.
right.
First Tucson beer, I guess, if you will, that we've reviewed on this channel.
That's right.
On this podcast.
Big fan of Tucson beers.
I love Tucson breweries. Dragoon is obviously one of the bigger ones. Borderlands, 1912.
Barrio.
If you're a big fan of sours, 1912 is the place to be.
Yeah.
If you love hazy IPAs, Pueblo Vita.
Yep.
And then some of the other ones I'm not totally familiar with. You know, like you have a Harbottle. Dillinger's another good one. I've had lots of theirs. They distribute a lot up here in the valley. I think they opened up a second location recently.
Button Brewing
very cool.
is another good one.
Brew House. We have one of those on the table in front of us.
They make a really good Schwartz beer.
Okay.
Which is a relatively less known style of beers.
It's like a dark colored.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it
right?
and it looks like a Scotch ale or some sort of dark sort of malty, but it tastes and drinks like a lager.
Yeah.
So it's fun. It's a fun beer to expand people's horizons. I used to work in a tap room, and we had the Button Brewing Schwartz beer on tap, and people would come in and say, I typically drink like Bud Lights. What do you recommend? And I would tell them, I'm going to bring you a beer. It's going to look different than something you typically would drink. I just want you to, keep an open mind and taste it and see what you think. And I bring them a little taster of this, and every time they'd take a sip, and their eyes would kind of widen and be like, "Wow, that's really good." And there was like a good lesson, and that the color of the beer says nothing about the flavor of it. You could have a black beer that's refreshing and sweet and not bitter. You could have a black beer that is bitter, like a black IPA. You could have a light beer, a very light colored beer like this that is sweet and fruity. You could also have a beer that's like this, that's hoppy and bitter. You could have everything in between. So that was a good lesson for that. So all that to say that I like Button Brewing.
Check out the Button Brew House. Check out Tucson if you're ever down there. It's one of my bucket list things to do here in Arizona is spend a weekend down there, because a lot of them, from what I understand, are within walking distance in downtown.
Yeah.
So you can brewery hop and brewery tour Tucson and hit up all of those ones over a weekend and really enjoy a city that has been known for its food for a long time. Its dining. It's one of the few what do they call it? Gastronomically designated cities in the U.S.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I think they earned that designation maybe a year or two ago. Which is that means it's comfort food wherever you go. You know, they're going to have fantastic Southwest kind of all kinds of Mexican food, Southwest Mex, and a lot more. But their brewery scene, it's really, really taken off, and they do really, really good stuff. And it's different. If you go to, say, a Pueblo Vita, you're going to have a hazy IPA. That's what they kind of specialize. Or a 1912 is going to have your sours if you're into that. So all those brewers are kind of doing their own kind of fun little niche in the beer world.
Yeah, I love that.
Seems like, Borderlands is really great on those porters that they do.
Yeah, totally.
The German chocolate cake is probably one of my favorite beers in all of Arizona. So make sure to check out Tucson Dragoon Brewing. This cold IPA, if you come across it, snag it. You're going to enjoy it. It's not like other cold IPAs that you might have come across in the past. This one is way more drinkable than some of the other ones I've had in the past. So
yeah, I think it's my first cold IPA, so I'm going to go ahead and just say it's very tasty, and yeah, love it. So, what are you doing in October?
October, football, beer. I mean,
you're going to go to a beer festival that we're putting on. Arizona Craft Beer Festival.
That's right.
azcraftbeer.com.
Tell me when that is.
That's going to be in October 22nd.
Sweet. Saturday.
And yep, it's on a Saturday. It's going to be out in Glendale. You got to check out the website for some more details, but we're very excited. There's going to be a competition element to it, so we're going to be celebrating all the best styles, all the best beers from different styles, all in Arizona. So we're going to be very excited, and I hope you all come out. We already have breweries signing up, and it's just going to be a good time.
The West Valley has needed a big beer fest for a long time.
I agree, and I'm excited that we are able to do that, to put that on, and working with the Brewers Guild to put on a really cool event.
Awesome. Looking forward to that. Arizona Craft Beer Fest and awards on Instagram, AB Arizona Craft Beer. ACBA Fest on Instagram.
That's right.
You can find our content, our videos there, also on our Phoenix Magazine YouTube channel and Phoenix Magazine podcast. So listen to us on your way to work, watch us at home on your YouTube, or watch us on your phone.